A sudden earthquake, an unexpected medical diagnosis, a personal tragedy that shatters the routines of daily life in an instant. The human experience is guaranteed to encounter severe, unexpected loss. If we interpret these events through a modern materialistic lens, the universe is governed entirely by unguided physics and blind chance. Every collision, every outcome, is an accident. This diagram illustrates the immediate psychological toll. If suffering is purely accidental, it carries no inherent meaning. Without an ultimate framework, the human psyche is exposed to the crushing weight of reality, resulting in intense anxiety, bitterness, and an unbearable psychological burden. The Islamic worldview functions as a rigid structural cognitive system. It contrasts the shattered glass of a fragmented void on the left with the stable golden pattern of a geometric web on the right. How a person answers the question of where the universe comes from determines exactly how their mind processes trauma. That single foundational assumption dictates whether a tragedy breaks their psyche or elevates it. This graphic maps qada wa qadar, the divine decree, the certainty that every occurrence is mapped by an all-wise design. Worldly afflictions like illness or loss strike violently but hit a barrier. This trauma is deflected upward into spiritual elevation, deliberately bypassing the dead end of despair. From the outside, it is easy to assume that relying on a predetermined destiny would create passive individuals. If everything is already written, why try to fix anything? But the architecture of destiny functions as an active psychological defense mechanism. It guards the mind specifically so the body can continue to work. This diagram separates human responsibility from divine authority. In the human domain, a person must exhaust all means and actively strive. When human capacity is reached, control terminates. The outcome belongs to the divine domain. Attempting to control that bottom layer guarantees despair. This infinity loop illustrates where these opposing forces intersect to create stability. On one side, the physical response to hardship, striving. On the other, tawakkul, the spiritual deferment of the outcome to God. Their intersection produces beautiful patience, the total absence of despair. By mathematically isolating human effort from the final outcome, this framework effectively neutralizes the anxiety we feel when trying to predict or control the future. This graphic introduces the paradox of ubudiyat, or absolute dependency. The human is entirely tethered to a supreme power, possessing zero independent control. Acknowledging this dependence frees the mind from anxiety, emancipating the human from the material world's terrifying unpredictability. This mental architecture scales infinitely. As the eschatological spectrum shows, the inner personality accompanies the soul past the threshold of death. The top path's illusion of control fragments into eternal torment, while the bottom path's patient striving weaves into unbroken proximity to the Creator. We see the final internal state of a believer in this concluding geometric design. Operating on the certainty of an all-wise plan, they refuse to disturb their soul by asking, "Why me?" in times of trouble, relying instead on trust, patience, and perspective. Islamic resilience comes from mastering a meticulously designed system where every event is purposeful. Within this geometry, ultimate despair has no mathematical possibility of existing.